So for my speech, I would like to inform you all about the Stanford marshmallow experiment. In order to have a full idea about it, I am going to give everyone a marshmallow. Now, you can eat it now if you would like, or you can wait till the end of the speech in order to have a second one without eating it. I was expecting your favorite classroom, so I got like a bunch of marshmallows. Sorry. Well, I should have brought paper. I'm seeing, but oh well. Now, the way that I am related to the Stanford marshmallow experiment is that my school actually had one, which is how we learned about it. My whole class was there in the auditorium. We had to watch a 20-minute speech about it, and I found at the end, sorry, I'm out of breath, I'm nervous. I found that half my classmates did eat the marshmallow, whether it was entirely or maybe they were having bits and pieces of it, trying not to get noticed. They got noticed, by the way. The other half did not, and they got a second marshmallow. What I know about this experiment is the basics: who created it, what it was meant to do, what year it was, but I found that I did learn a lot whenever I was writing the speech. My thesis for this is, how is it important? What does it do, and is it still relevant? Which brings me to my main points. What is the experiment? What did it measure, or was trying to measure? And is it still relevant to the modern children? According to TIMSET, the people who conducted this was psychologists, Walter Mitchell and Yuichi Shanda. Sorry, very foreign. What they did was that they took some children from their university, and they had them wait in a room for 20 minutes alone with a marshmallow, and whoever did not eat it, they got a second one. And the ones who did eat it, well, they got a tasty snack in the beginning, didn't they? Now, according to Ifalti's Stanford experiment, most of these toddlers were 4-year-olds from the university's Finnish nursery school. They were, again, they were toddlers, very little, very tiny, can you imagine? But they found interesting ways not to eat it. Some would look away, some would play with it, not actually eat it. One children actually sat on it. It was very weird. Very, very weird. This experiment brought a lot of attention to the media. It got a lot of praises because they thought it was measuring how children can, lower self-gratification to the point where they could just delay it for the inevitable. And it was great. But several people were kind of iffy about it. They were thinking, well, can this really predict what this children will be like in the future? People were confused about its mythology, like, how so? So, and others argued that it wasn't based on personality, which was not changed. It was based on environment. For instance, Jessica Kalerko from Indiana University said, if a child was from an environment where they could not trust adults, or perhaps the adults often broke their promises, they may not find a reason to wait to eat the marshmallow, because in their opinion, they might think, they're lying to me, might as well have it now, not wait for anything. According to Greatest Good Suti, how well children can delay gratification can predict their life in the future. Mitchell found that those who did not eat the marshmallow often became better in their lives. They were well mentally and more physically than those who ate the marshmallows. And even 30 years later, it kept being consistent. But many, like Clarissa, who we talked about before, did not agree, because again, it could be based off their environment, not their personality, or their well-being. So, again, many assumed, probably nothing to do with it. It could be good, it could be not. It was a split in half situation, even today. And so, it left a lot of issues. According to Muchin, he did another experiment in 2018 and published it in the Psychology Science article. The stir, now this caused a stir in the media because it was the exactly same experiment. Exactly the same, the only difference was that they went from having it to 20 minutes to 7 minutes because they believed modern children could not have the same attention span as those in the 60s. Yay. Now, children with lower attention span could come from less, I'm trying to find the word. Give me a minute. Children with less attention span could come from multiple factors. We talked about personality, we talked about economics. So, what about nature versus nurture? Multiple things, right? So economists Fabian Kose said, of course, whether one has to wait for 7 minutes or 20 minutes makes a big difference to a 4-year-old. Indeed, over our statistical analysts suggest that this difference alone accounts for 1/3 of the difference in outcomes between the Mitchell experiment and the replication study. So, sorry, sure, practice more. So, in my personal opinion, I would say that the experiment was good in hindsight before, that there was not much to go statistically because the Stanford University was a very high-class college, which means that all the students that went there came from high class. So the children who probably were able to have more wait lists and such like that had more gratification levels that could be delayed than those who are more average or more poor. So in the end, I believe that the experiment was a fail, and it had nothing to do with whether or not those who could delay or not delay could base the children off their future. Thank you very much.